Welcome to our premiere episode of CPA Futures, produced by Metzler Advisory Group in association with EI Media. In this conversation, we sit down with Lexi Weber, CPA Senior Manager of Emerging Professionals Initiatives at the AICPA and CIMA. Lexi is a University at Buffalo graduate and a national leader in building programs that support early career professionals. From leadership academies to mentorship networks, she is helping the next generation grow with purpose. All right, Lexi, what inspired you to focus your career on supporting emerging partners and professionals? And how's that kind of shaped your approach to leadership?
Yeah, I think as I went through the accounting profession, I was a CPA in public accounting for 10 years. And I think a lot of it was just wanting to give support to the support that was given to me. I had a lot of great mentors in my career, Jim Metzler being one of them, and he was absolutely phenomenal to me, and to this day is still a very good friend and absolutely incredible to learn from and continue to bounce ideas off of, because he was me, 40 or so years ago, starting out in his career and really starting to do this. So, I think for me, it was really about giving back and helping sponsor and mentor and coach those that and just give back to what was given to me. So I think often, especially in public accounting, we focus so much on the technical aspect and the client service that we don't always have the time and resources to really train on career development and professional development and setting your goals and what your career path can be. And that's the beautiful thing about the CPA profession, is that there's so many avenues that you can go into. Never in a million years did I think, when I started in public accounting, that I would be sitting where I am today at AICPA. So I think it just shows the beauty of the career path that a CPA can provide you.
Talk about that a little bit. Talk about the AICPA and what it means to you and how it's helped you to become a better CPA.
Yeah. So AICPA has been great, and it's been really eye-opening to me. So, I mentioned Jim earlier. He was VP of small firms at AICPA for many years and coached and mentored many people that I still work with today at AICPA. And he approached me one day and said, I think you would be a really great fit for Leadership Academy. And I had never heard of AICPA Leadership Academy prior to Jim explaining it to me and giving me the promotional aspect of it. And it just opened my eyes to so many different resources and avenues that AICPA provides to members that I didn't realize as an emerging professional. So that's also given me more drive and helped me keep going, in the fact that I wanted our members to be able to see and attain and really understand all of the benefits and the value of the membership, because there's so many resources and so many opportunities for development that are out there that many people just don't realize are there. So that's meant a lot to me in my career and gives me the motivation and aspiration to keep going and keep engaging with emerging professionals within, whether you're an AICPA member or not.
How do you stay current? You're talking about a lot of different things. How do you stay current and with evolving expectations and the needs of the next generation of professionals?
Yeah, it's a whirlwind for sure. I think there's something new every day that we talk about, or different things that we start to come across on the page and say, well, let's take a look at this a little bit deeper and see what this truly is the ask, right? Like it's not always just surface level. You have to go through the layers to get to the core of it. So I think a lot of it is just continuing to build up and really understand what that next generation needs. I think everyone is very well aware with the baby boomers that a lot of them are exiting the workforce, and we don't have enough people that are coming into the workforce to replace them. And that's where technology comes in. And we've been talking a lot about the evolution of technology and AI and what it's going to bring to the profession. And there are a lot of emerging professionals that are in fear of AI taking over their jobs. And I think one thing that I think is truly valuable about the profession is the humanity of it. We build our foundation on trust and ethics and client service and really being that sounding board for our clients and for our family and friends. You can't replace that with AI. It's not something that AI can really have a conversation like we're having today that's flowing as naturally and pivoting as quickly as we are, where I think that's the true beauty of what the humanity of the profession is. So we talk a lot about different aspects, But I think it's also a reminder of the value that we bring to the table and not just focusing on what technology is going to do. I think technology will be a great influence on how we continue to shape our profession. I think we'll have the opportunity to really become more efficient in some of our compliance work, where we can then spend our time focusing more on advisory services and also bringing in new services. I truly see in the future of the profession, with the abundance of technology that's going to be coming into it, we're going to continue to need to bring in new professionals. We're going to need data engineers. We're going to need program analysts. We're going to need people with computer science backgrounds to help us understand the technology and the platforms. So when we're using them for compliance work, such as auditing, we understand the controls behind it and what's coming in. I think that's the biggest fear that a lot of people have is, well, we understand it's AI based, but how do we audit that? How do I know everything that I'm feeding into it is getting spit back at me in totality and in completeness?
It sounds from the outside that's almost like the accounting business is going to get bigger, and there's going to be more need for specialized people. You know, you've helped a lot of early career folks, professionals, you know, transitioning into the workforce. What strategies have you come up with that have kind of helped that?
Yeah, you know, I think a lot of it too is just meeting them where they're at and understanding where they want to go. I don't think it's a one size fits all approach. But, you know, we talk to a lot of people that are interested in information technology. We have a brand new group of professionals that are coming in generationally that grew up on technology. And, you know, I have a 10-year-old niece at the age of 3. She was on KidsTube and looking at all these videos and talking to me in these big words that I probably didn't even learn until I was 8 years old. So I think it's embracing that in our strategy and saying, okay, if this is something you're really interested in, let's create an avenue for you to enter in the profession from that experience. So a lot of the strategy is just listening to our members and listening to those in the profession and really understanding where they want to go with their career and finding avenues for them to do that.
How do you balance organizational goals with personal and professional development needs for these young emerging professionals?
Yeah, for me personally, you know, being senior manager of emerging professionals at AICPA, I think I'm aligned with my organizational goals. So I think that's the true beauty of it, is that once you find yourself aligned with your organization, there really is no distinction between. You know, as an organization with AICPA, our goals are to support our members and, you know, not just to be a technical reference for them when we have different regulation changes such as HR1. We really want to be there on your pathway and follow your journey along throughout your career and help support you throughout that. So I think from an emerging professional standpoint, it's really to help you kickstart your career and really broaden your horizons as to what's available to you in the profession and not just looking in the silos that you're currently working in. So I think a lot of the organizational strategic alignment, that's what we're doing right now with our Rise 2040 program. So we're calling it Finance and Accounting 2040, Rise to the Future Together. But it's really a strategic visioning project that we're doing for the first time globally as a profession.
Oh, wow.
And we do these strategic visioning projects about every 15 years. So our Horizons project, which we did in 2010, is now sunsetting in 2025. So now Rise 2040 is really gearing up for that next visioning of what the future enables. And we've heard a lot of different comments from our members because everyone's really excited about what the future can bring. And there's a lot of optimism around it, which typically isn't always been the case with CPAs. So I'm glad to see that mindset shift. But I think also when we're talking about the future, a lot of it's uncertain and unknown. So we're using Dan Burris's methodology of hard and soft trends to talk through hard trends of technology, demographics, and regulation and government, in which those are things that we don't have control over and things that we're going to have to continue to adapt and evolve with over time, where we do have soft trends, which are things that we do have control over. So maybe we can't do anything about making, you know, babies right now that are going to be able to enter the workforce in the next 5 to 10 years, but we can change how our firm culture is and how we are more inclusive to our professionals and how we manage our hours and focus. Maybe it's shifting away from a billable hours focus and shifting more on the outputs of what their work is. So I think there's a lot of change in that retrospect that we're seeing through the project as well.
What excites you the most about the AI, the technology, this new plan? What excites you the most about the future of CPA?
Yeah, I think it's just, the possibilities are endless with it. We really don't know where it's going to go, and that's part of what we've seen through the Rise 2040 project. A lot of people come up to me and they say, Lexi, I don't even know what's going to happen in 2 years. How am I supposed to know what's going to happen by 2040? But I think that's the beauty of it, is that you can truly envision a future with endless possibilities. And it's really, that is going to help us strategically align to what the members of the profession want and help us really gear towards that. So I think AI and technology, it can appear scary sometimes because there's a lot that we don't know about it. But then I think at the same time, we can use that to our advantage and really help shape what we want it to be. So I think that's really the excitement that gives me ambition every day to keep doing what I'm doing.
What would you say to maybe a up and coming person that's maybe just getting into college or just starting to kind of figure out what they want to do with their career? What would you say kind of to tell them about what's exciting about the future of being a CPA?
Yeah, again, I think it's just the endless opportunities of what a CPA means. I think maybe 20, 30 years ago, when you heard CPA, you thought, okay, I'm going to be doing a lot of tax returns or compliance work or auditing. The way the profession has evolved and continue to evolve with technology, a lot of people talk about their easy calcs, and then it went into an Excel, and now we use Excel with different macros and programming, and it's going to continue to evolve. And I think you think about everything that we've done as a profession over time, and we've continued to get not away from compliance because that's the root core and the foundation of what we've done, but we've continued to expand on the value that we bring to our clients and into the global economy. We always say accounting is the common business language because everyone needs an accounting professional. So I think that is really interesting to me as an emerging professional, and was interesting to me when I was a student, is just the opportunities that you can have in accounting as a CPA and finance, right? A lot of CPAs go on to be CFOs of global companies and Fortune 500 companies, and really having the ability to adapt to what your needs are. And looking back at my journey, I always thought I was going to be on partner track. That was never a even deviation in my mind that I wasn't going to be a partner. And then I met Jim, and he introduced me to this world of professional development and leadership, and I can really hone in on my passion for that and spread that around to the profession to say, this is what we need to be doing to support our younger professionals and help build them up and kickstart their career and empower them to really develop into that visionary leader. And I didn't ever realize that was a possibility for a career until I met Jim. So it was really interesting to go through that mentally for me and start to think, well, what if my life plan isn't what I really want it to be anymore, right? I never prepared myself for that shift. But it's been a fun and exciting ride since I made the shift about 10 months ago.
Thank you for joining us. This episode was produced by Metzler Advisory Group in association with EI Media. To learn more about Lexi Weber's work, visit AICPA.org or follow the links in our show notes below. Thanks for tuning in.